it is. You've got to read it all, haven't you? Hello?
Good evening. Sir. Going round, certainly as an adjudicator, I'm much more aware of the value of amateur dramatics to the society and the community in which that society works. Much derided, and I was probably of that school of thought myself when I first came here. Well, it's interesting because everyone's here because they're interested in what they're trying to do. As soon as you get in, you know, you want to be top dog, don't you, really?
So what is your job at the theatre?
Here, sort of wardrobe mistress. But this next play is going to be really challenging because it's set in the First World War. We've got every officer I think there is in the British Army to find. On a small budget as well, set in the First World War. Right, so it's a very challenging play. It's very limited, you know. That was a decision that was made by the executive that there'd be no period plays. Gas mask. We've got gas masks, but the Second World War ones. So where are we going to get a First World War? I don't think there's any point skimping on something. We've got to hire the costumes. We're going to have to hire them. Since we've been in this theatre, sort of 10 years or so, we've not done, because of the costs, any period plays. Getting this stuff out in a bit.
There's a lot in here, isn't there?
There's a lot in here. I think it's like any amateur group, isn't it? It's depends on its members. I think we've got a little bit of a sort of a gap in the middle, and I think a lot of people find that, you know, we've got a lot of, you know, a bit, what's the word, a prima donna I can say for a woman. I don't know what it is for a man, but, you know, I'm not going to get my hands dirty, or I'm not going to do any of the other things that I think in an amateur group, I think you've got to understand that the whole is more than just the acting. There's so much more that goes on.
It's up to the members to make it work. It's certainly been discussed many times that it's failing because people are leaving and people won't do different things. Now, no one, I don't think, has ever quite tackled that.
We have an executive committee that meets approximately once a month. If there's a problem with the building or something needs attending to, or you discuss the cost and agree who's going to do the job. Occasionally you have to stand up and question back as and when.
Aren't we in a position now to say we're at the end of the line? You just said you're not prepared to do it, and you're not prepared to get. That's not what to energise. That's not what I said. What did you say, though? I said I'm not prepared to start phoning out asking people to come. That's exactly what I just said. You're not prepared to motivate and energise people. You said on this committee we're not approving cleaners. Go out and try again. So I wrote to 40 members. Read my report. I'm sorry, it came from you two because nobody else said it. But everyone else agreed with it. They have no choice because 99% of them don't open their mouth. Well, that's not my fault. Yes, it is, because it should be done in a correct manner. Do we approve as a committee to have to move forward and progress on this? You don't just decide.
Do you think the theatre does have a future?
Not at the moment, no. We too easily divide what's on stage from what's off stage, and people are categorised into whether they do stuff, whether they don't do stuff. And unless the root cause of that is properly discussed, then it will fail. But I think there is a core set of people who are quite adamant that it won't.
Buying a calendar, I know mine has. Well, we've got a calendar that you might just enjoy. Maureen Wynn is here from Heel Green Theatre Company. With
I belong on the play selection committee, and I'm also chairman of the publicity.
Well, basically we just chose for the girls 12 play titles and then took this inspiration from that for the photograph. And then when it came to the men's, we did play titles and musicals.
For 2 consecutive years, I've produced and organised a calendar for fundraising purposes. It was rather unfortunate that there happened to be another fundraising event taking place at a similar time.
What was the name of the competition?
Guess the weight of the cake.
The money that you raised...
What's going on there?
Tons
loads of money.
Tons of money,
yeah. That's the one.
I see. How much did you manage to raise then from sales of the calendar last year?
From the girls, we £507 last year.
What does the money go towards? I know it goes to the Heel Green Theatre, but what sort of things are you going to be able to purchase with the proceeds?
Well, we're hoping to redecorate the theatre. It's in need of redecoration at the moment, so. And it's for the benefit of our patrons that come to see the plays.
Have you managed?
What gets you fired up?
It does worry me, you see, because they can hear, they're able to hear in any room in the building, you know, in that box. They are. They can hear anywhere. They're able to hear what's said backstage, what's said in the wings. They can hear. I don't know how they do, but they can.
You have superpowers.
No, it's bugged.
You know, that's only, what, 1, 2, 3. And if there's no jackets...
How important do you think it is to get it right?
I think it's very important. And I must admit, it frustrates me when I see professional dramas where they're not right. It's not so bad yet now, but I used to get quite a bad sort of dermatitis. For example, where an actor does not get the hair right, you know, because they're too, I don't know, proud or whatever. Like the last play we just done was 80s, so some of the shoes were not correct, and I know they weren't, but, you know, you've got people with different size feet, you can't find the shoes, you can't find them. Hey, how do we acquire them? Donations mainly. You know, people will say, I've got some uniforms I've found in me granddad's attic.
What, like that clown costume at the front?
No, I've got to say, I made that. I've made like Georgian dresses and that kind of thing where you've got to put bones in Victorian. I made a Victorian wedding dress once.
So she made them yourself?
Oh yeah, yeah. Even that, you see that there, just sort of do. That looks quite old to me, like canvas, you know, if they want bits and things on the floor.
Old, yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So remember that.
You just put a pudding base on it.
I used to have a skin. What's your job in the theatre?
Oh, it's not mine, is it? Right, my job in the theatre, my role in life is to keep everyone happy. I'm a PA for this particular play, and I make tea and coffee. And I provide superb biscuits. I should come down 3 times a week. I more often than not it's twice, because I can't always make it. And the cast really miss me because they don't have biscuits on the night I don't.
Did you do anything else at the theatre?
No, I've done a lot of things over the years, but not now. No. Well, I acted when I was young, and of course Derek did. But unfortunately, can't, you know, his health doesn't. Are you coming to the Poets and Panics tomorrow?
Yes.
Good.
See, they're only bits of equipment. We've been to all the local societies and they didn't have anything else. Brown belt, well, you can't get those these days. And every man has to have a Sam Brown belt. No, you've got to get it as right as possible. You've always got to watch the smaller things as well. They'll say, oh, they didn't wear that till the Second World War. The officers should have these baggy the riding breeches. For Accrington Pals they had to make those out of paper mache. We can't fit out Tom, Big Tom, as a Sergeant Major. We can't fit out Paul. Even in the Second World War, men weren't as big. Ryan had found this firm that hired out the whole production, and so they gave me permission to hire everything for £850 plus that. I was surprised, but they did. They were very good actually. I asked for 400 and they said, well, by the time we've got all the bits and pieces for the set, which they would have to hire, might as well hire it all in one.
It's quite unknown for them to put so much money into one play, but it's a positive sign of change in that you either believe in what you're doing and you back it up, or you don't and make do and hope you get by.
Are you still pissed off about the costumes?
Well, they're not my favourite part of the play, let's put it that way. Yes, I am pissed off with the costumes. They're awful. We've paid a lot of money for these costumes and they're not very good. I was the one who was sort of trying to push for it. I thought it was going to be a complete package, but it's not. There are several costumes that don't fit people, even though we sent them measurements.
I keep out. It's nothing to do with me if they want to throw tantrums.
I've got some at home. I have, but I'm not bringing them. I could get you some of mine, I think. Do you want them?
They tend to disappear.
Joe, do you want them? I've got some with ivory handles that have become discoloured. Would you like them?
Have you never thought about acting?
Thanks. Well, when I was at school, we did Antiques and the Lions. All the little Christians are going to be thrown to the lions in the den. I think it was only dress rehearsal, but I accidentally threw the lions to the Christians instead of the Christians to the lions. Everybody fell about laughing. I thought, no, I don't think acting's for me.
We are losing members, we're losing acting members, we're losing backstage members. We're going to have an open day, which might redress the fall in numbers, might get a few more members in, hopefully. But unless we sort out the root problem, i.e. the two factions that are in the theatre.
Common to all groups.
Exactly what I said.
We're exactly the same situation at another theatre not so far away. You can't run a theatre by committee.
You can't run many things by. You
can't run a theatre by.
Yeah, well, it was something that should have been organised, wasn't organised, it slipped through the net. Again, there was little arguments and things as to who should have done it. It was going to be dropped, so it was picked up last minute and became quite a reasonable evening.
I'm not the star of the show, just the standing.
I think the social calendar's getting back up together. I think there are certain people who have a lot of drive to make sure that this theatre works.
It may have been slightly off key, but the audience roared. The audience, if you'd have seen their faces.
Doris is a wonderful old lady who doesn't take direction, who knows better than everybody, who's like a dowager lady who swans around. And if you ask her to do something, if she doesn't feel it's right, she will not do it. And that's probably why I wouldn't like her in a play of mine.
See you soon.
My name is Derek Herner. I'm chairman of the Sub-House Committee. Cyril! My first job is to make sure that the emergency exits are in operation. All is well. And that they both work. Oh, hello, my friend. As a house manager, will welcome everybody and make sure during the performance that they do not have any problems, and if they do, it is my job to sort it out. What?
Well, I know things are changing.
Dare you?
What sort of response have you had from audiences to the play so far?
Not very good this week. It's been one of the poorest I've known. And I'm pretty sure it's because the play is all about the trenches in the First World War. And I think a lot of people just don't want to hear anything about that. And some of the regulars have handed back the tickets for this play. Good evening, ladies. Come along in.
Hello.
Come along in. And can I give you one of these? We're holding an open evening.
Thank you.
At the end of the month. And we're hoping to get one or two younger players like yourself joining us. I'm on duty so often because of shortage of staff, I don't see all the plays. I've seen this one and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like seeing pretty girls on the stage, of course. Would you like to see how the theatre works?
Never nervous, don't care. Okay? It's the important thing, is don't care.
Carry on, carry on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The performances will begin in 3 minutes.
No, it won't.
No, it won't. Oh, yeah.
I'll ring the sound of that. All clear down here. And
do you think the play's going to be a success?
It depends how you judge success. If you're judging success by bums on seats, then I don't think it will be a success. I don't think it's going to sell particularly well. I think it looks superb, and I think some of the performances are excellent and only going to get better. So from that point of view, I think yes, it is a success.
Where do you see the theatre in 5 years?
Oh, theatre in 5 years will be still thriving. There'll still be fractions. There'll be different members coming along, and nothing will change at all whatsoever.
2 lines.
Yes, love. Yeah,
I miss out. I see, and that's all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The performance is about to start.